anybody that likes to have a little bet, and you know, sometimes you don't know what to do, check James's channel out just for that reason alone. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Hammers Fans United. I'm back once again with the one from each team concept. I don't need to explain the concept anymore because I put out a video last week. I'm joined by a very special guest, and I mean that. I'll explain that in a minute. And he goes by, his channel name is E20 ZONE TV. So I want you lot to go and subscribe to that. He can explain his channel as soon as I finish waffling on, but good reviews, good previews, and also some good betting tips for those that, you know, that do have a little bet. So I'm going to stop talking, and then James, I'm going to let you just, you know, plug your channel and just explain what your channel is about, and then yeah, we'll get into this. So yeah, over to you, James.
Yeah, what it is it's my own personal channel. I do some like betting tips on games on West Ham and everything, and basically I just do like a little vlog from time to time of like how well we've played or how bad we haven't. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, check it out. E20 ZONE TV. It's yeah, I just do it for the banter and have a good laugh and get people on. And obviously, the more people that come on, the better. And I like to get people on because basically I work with people. I deal with the fans, not like so-called celebrities or ex-players. I want to see what the fans' opinion is. So yeah, that's a bit of it from me.
All right, James. Like I said, you know, I'm always gonna, if someone comes on and they've got a channel, my main motivation is for them to gain some subscribers from me and people to check them out, and I mean that. Before we start, I'd like to say, James, I had you confused. Obviously, there was a confusion with James and Fashizi, who I've never met. I don't even know who he is. But when I went live for the first time ever on, or the only time on Hammers Fans United, you came and you know, like, you helped me out, like you jumped in and we spoke on all it. So I always appreciative of that. Somehow I thought yours was Fashizi, and yeah, that got cleared up quite recently. So yeah, there was a, yeah, and I was always grateful that, yeah, you came on because, like I said, I went live and accidentally, and then you kind of saved the day. So yeah, I'm always sort of mindful of that. So yeah, thanks for that.
No worries, mate.
Right, so we're going to get into your squad. We know how it works now. You're going to give us your bench, and then we will get into the juicy bit, which is your starting team. Following on from last week, which was Charlie Boys, who I felt had a solid squad. I will have to let you lot know that James sent me his squad prior to, which Charlie didn't, and that helped me out with the pre-editing. So I do know his squad, sort of. I haven't, yeah, but he's got a fire squad as well. So, James, over to your first sub. Which club is it? Let me put them on the screen, and then you can, you know, explain why you've picked that player. Where are we going?
Arsenal then, mate.
Right, explain who your pick is and why, please, James.
Well, my Arsenal pick's got to be Saka, mate. If I'm honest, I think he's quality, and it's a shame. I know it's an horrible thing to say, but it's a shame that he's at Arsenal. Like, I don't mind Arsenal, but he's a very talented player. He's played right back, left back, attacking midfield, left winger, right winger. He's a utility player, and I think he's very, very good. I felt sorry for him in the Euros. I really did. Like, someone had to miss the penalty, and it had to be him, and he looked heartbroken by it. Do you know what I mean? But he's Arsenal's best player for me, and Arsenal need to keep hold of him if they're going to progress up the table.
Yeah. I think Charlie Boy said he was going to pick him as well. He's young, he's English, and like you said, he's got a lot of, you know, he's already fulfilling his potential, and the best is yet to come. So yeah, I think that's a solid. Yeah, I like him. I like Saka. I definitely like Saka, and I agree with you. Overall, he is their best player. Yeah,
he is, mate. He is. He does everything. What he does, exactly what he says on the tin. Basically, he's that sort of player. If he has a bad game, it's very, very rare. Do you know what I mean? So he's one for the future for sure.
Yep. So yeah, you started off well. All right. So tell me the club we're going to for your next sub, and I'll put them on the screen.
Villa.
Okay. Yep.
And I've gone for Mings, Tyrone Mings. I like Mings. I really do. I think he's a good player for them. I think he's had a good career path, or a weird career path. He was at Bournemouth. He went to Ipswich for a bit. Well, he did start off at Ipswich, and he went to
Mm.
Bournemouth. He went to Villa, and he sort of progressed each year. He's not the masterclass defender like other defenders in the league, but he does a good job, and he's up there like as being one of the top defenders in the league. But it's another one with him. He's young. He's getting better and better, and he's playing for the national team and all.
Exactly, and he's left-footed, left-sided centre back, which is kind of it's they're hard to come by.
Yeah, yeah. He seems to do a good job every time he plays. Like there's a couple of times I've seen him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's had some howlers, but but there's been other times where he's been very, very good. So yeah.
Charlie Boy also picked him on his bench, so I think if Villa's not a starting player in anyone's team, then probably Mings will be the pick now that Grealish is gone. But yeah, that's Saka and Grealish to start is definitely a strong looking bench. What about your next club, please?
Brentford, mate.
Brentford. Okay, and I'll leave it to you,
Mr. Ivan Toney. I think this man is the replacement for Antonio if Brentford ever go down. I think he's class. I think he's like, can't praise this geezer up enough, really. I wanted him in the summer. Great striker, young. Another one who's gone through the hard knocks of football. Like he started off at Newcastle, then he went to Peterborough. He had a spell at Northampton, and now he's ended up at Brentford. And he's a very, very good player, very strong in the air, good on the ground, fast. And yeah, I can't praise him up enough, mate. I'd love him at West Ham. I really would. And he's top class, top class.
You know, I don't know whether we would have, but I was hoping that they didn't come up and we got him. That was what I was hoping. I can understand them keeping him because they've come up. But yeah, he's proven himself. Every level he's played at, he's stepped up. So I don't doubt that he's going to take to the Premier League like a duck to water. So, I mean, Charlie Boy also picked him on his bench. So, and I can understand, like, if you're going to go Brentford, really and truly, unless you've already got 2 other or 3 other strikers in your squad, then naturally, or because I know you like, what's his name? What's the fullback's name?
Rico Emery.
You do like him, don't you? Yeah. So yeah, I know it'd be him or Tony or Mbeumo or maybe, you know, but I think it would be Tony or Rico Henry that people will go for from Brentford. It would be those 2, I reckon.
100%, man. I just think Tony's he's that level. He's just a level above, like where Brentford are, and he's a goal scorer. And I think obviously this season we will see how good he really is in the Prem. Like he hasn't really. He scored 1 goal so far this season out of 4 games, which is okay, I suppose. But we will know after this season if Tony's a Premier League striker, like phenomenal as he was in the Championship.
Yeah. I think that you know, you put him in a top team and you'll see a top striker. But Brentford do play an attacking type of football. So, yeah, we should still see... I think if he gets 12-plus goals at Brentford in the Premier League in their first season, I think that's a good return. I would, because then that would tell you that in a better team, he's going to score 15 to 20 goals. You understand? So,
yeah.
I think, he needs to get at least 12 goals this season if he's going to start every game anyway. So, but yeah, he's definitely, you know, one of their stand-up players, and they haven't got many that sort of roll off the tongue. So yeah, that's another.
I agree with you though, Titch. I really do. I look at Tony. He's Antonio's replacement for me, definitely. And he's one of them ones that if we could ever get him, then like people say there's not a striker out there. Well, there is one in Brentford who's like a replica of Antonio, younger, fitter, and like if we could get that man to East London, then I think it'd be phenomenal for us, 100%.
Yeah, and I know I do, but you know, Antonio's been converted, but this guy he's always been a striker. Do you understand? So He's a natural fit. And, you know, Brentford, I said this on the last one, I don't want to repeat it, but they've got a model where through analytics and stuff like that, they kind of know what player is going to work for them. So even if they do sell him, they would already had 5 people that are potentially... So you can get hold of him. You understand? You can, if we put in the right bid, we could get him because they would just go to, you know, what they've got in the pipeline. So
yeah,
they will sell. They're not going to just hold. Yeah, they will sell their players. So yeah, maybe West Ham need to, you know, explore that. But so far you've got Saka, great player. Mings, great player. Tony, great player. And yeah, so that's 1/3 of your subs done. What club are we going to next, James?
Burnley.
Who's Charlie had as a starting team for him. Right. I'll leave it to you.
And I am going to go for their goalkeeper, Nick Pope, as the backup goalkeeper on the subs bench. For me, if we didn't get Areola in the summer for West Ham, I would have went and got this man out of Burnley. I think he's a really good goalkeeper. I think he's wasted at Burnley, if I'm honest. I really do. He's young. He's consistent. Like, do you know what I mean? But what it is with Burnley, where they don't play pretty football on the eye, he don't really get the applaudits. And for me, he's one of their best players, if not their best player in their team. And I think when he sort of plays well, like they play well. Do you know what I mean? They're pretty solid. Yeah. Right? And Burnley are a sort of team that they will ship goals, but then he will save them points and all. It's one of the two. So yeah, Nick Pope for me, mate. I rate this lad a lot. And if we didn't get Areola, that's the man I wanted out.
All right. Yeah, can I ask you, in your opinion, and this is just because you've picked him, do you think he's England's best goalie, or do you rate Pickford over him?
No, I don't rate. I think Pickford's okay, but I think Pope is better. I think if Pope's at West Ham or Tottenham or somewhere like that, or even like Leicester, I believe. Yeah, he starts for England. I think it's a power shift on the club's side. Yeah. Like we've got Everton on the one hand, who have been a long-serving Premier League club, and you've got Burnley, who are constantly fighting relegation, sort of thing.
They've just scored, you know. Burnley have just scored against Everton away as well, 1-0. But yeah, Pope. I mean, I done when I come up with this idea, I done one from each team over Christmas, not on this channel, and obviously my squad is different now, but Pope was my substitute goalkeeper as well. So yeah, I definitely rate him as a goalkeeper. And obviously Charlie Boy put him as his first choice keeper. So clearly, you know, he's rated from not everybody, but people do rate him. Yeah. So yeah, like that's another good shot for you, man. Looking good. So where we going? What club?
South London, Palace.
Yep.
It's an hard one with me with Palace because obviously they've just signed Edouard from Celtic, who's a very good player. I wanted at West Ham, but I've gone for Saha just for the simple fact of the matter is when he plays well, Palace play well. If he's on it, then they're on it. So yeah, he's a good player. His attitude lets him down sometimes, I must admit, but in the grand scheme of things, for his football ability, he's got the ability to change games. And yeah, I couldn't not put him in. Like I had to put him in, like as one from the Palace section of this. And I think he's a very, very good player for them.
You know, once again, I put him on my bench when I done it. I think that he should have left. I think maybe 3 seasons ago, he was red hot. And I think at the time, Real Madrid was in transition. I think he could have went to nearly all of the big clubs, the way he was playing. And the impact he was, you know, he was literally carrying his team. Now that he's still at Palace, I don't know where he's going to go. And I also agree with you. It's just like the theatrics and he's got an annoying face. His face really annoys me. You know, like he's always looking for something from the ref. He's always surprised like he's seen a goal. His face, there's something about him that really annoys me. But on his day, he's a game changer. So when he's at it, he's a really, really good player and still good enough for any of the top Premier League teams, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, he's another one that, you know, Palace, you can't pick from. I think Eze's a good player. and there's still more to come. But yeah, Zaha's, you know, he's proven in the Premier League. So to have him on your bench, yeah, I definitely think that he's probably the best pick for me from Palace.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Yeah, in my opinion, you've picked well. I know where we're going next, but I'll leave it to you. Let me find the club.
Newcastle.
Newcastle. Oh, weird lads. Let me put them up.
And
boy,
Alan Saint-Maximin. This boy tore us apart in the first game of the season, the first half, and I think he's wasted at Newcastle. I really do, but they love him up there. He's like an hero to them. I think when he gets the ball, the only problem is with him, right? He gets the ball, he's very good, but he runs out of steam, and he seems to get injured. He seems to pick up quite a few injuries with Newcastle, from what I've been hearing. So, but as a player, I can't fault him. It is surprising that no one's come in for him, a bigger club or someone who's like top six come in for him, because he can turn games on his head. But for me, he's Newcastle's best player, and if they are going to stay up this season, he needs to be on it, and he will be the key focal point for them staying up this season.
Once again, I had him on my bench. I don't know if his release clause is 50, 60 million, and that might scare people off, you understand, because he is a bit of a maverick, and you know the top teams would have to spend that money, and would they spend it on someone like him? You understand?
Yeah.
I feel if they didn't have Wilson and Saint-Maximin, they'd be down already, like guaranteed. Like, yeah, you lot are going down, but he is a game changer, and he is their one sort of saving grace that if they are going to stay up, then he's going to play a major part in that. But you know, for this concept, you're picking the best version of each player, and him at his best he's for me, he's good enough to start in all of these top teams. So to have him, you know, on the bench for this concept is, yeah, he's a probably going to be your best sub. Yeah, because he's I rate him a lot. And I mean, like you said, when we played them first game of the season, I was thinking if this guy keeps up this for the whole game, we're in big trouble, man, because he was tangoing with our players and, you know, sending them, go that way, I'll wait a couple, you understand? Like, so I was thinking, shit, like if he keeps this up, we're in trouble. And yeah, like you said, he sort of runs out of steam, and maybe that's because he's doing more than he has to because of the players around him. Do you understand? Rather than, you know, like he can do it in fits and spurts. He's got to do it constantly, and then naturally he's going to run out of energy, man.
I think he burns himself out, like in a team where, as you just said, like there's only two or three of them who can sort of compete, so to speak, like, and the others sort of are just sort of carrying the team along. But yeah, like I say, mate, he's a game changer for them. And as I say, if anything happens to him, I do fear for Newcastle this season.
Yeah, especially with the start they've had. So yeah, and you know he'd be gone. Like he'd be the first player that gets sold. Right, so we've got 3 more subs, James. And which club are we going to now?
Down on the south coast, Southampton.
Okay.
And it is James Ward-Prowse for me. I think this lad he's you know, like when you've got a player at a club who's very, very good for that club, but if you take him out of that club, would he be the same somewhere else at a bigger club? I think Ward-Prowse is that man. I think like he's everything you want in a midfielder: set pieces, corners, passing, gets a man about the pitch. He's good at everything. It seems like good at everything. He's an international. He should he have gone to the Euros, possibly, maybe, but he didn't get to the final cut. But I can't fault him as a player for Southampton. There's other players at Southampton, but I think he's their vocal point. He's their one that like their go to when do you know what I mean? I think I believe he's the captain and all. So he's top quality, and Southampton have done very well to keep him in this window.
Definitely. Everton have just scored, by the way. 2 centre backs have scored for each team, 1 for each team. I think I said this to Charlie that, you know, when you go to Southampton, Ward-Prowse is a standout candidate. Danny Ings is gone now as well. So some people might have, you know, they might have picked him because that's their backup striker or whatever. So I think that he doesn't play for England because I think Southgate wants the energy and the legs that Rice and Phillips. So it's not anything to do with him. I just think his style of play is kind of maybe not exactly what Southgate needs. I think Southgate needs protecting his defenders as much as possible. So he's putting Rice and Phillips that, you know, like they're all energy. And so, yeah, I think that's why. But, you know, like you said, he's technical ability, he's set piece delivery, he's, you know, his ball possession and whatnot. Yeah. And he would definitely be able to cut it in, you know, a team bigger and better than Southampton. So, yeah, they've done well to keep hold of him. You know, it's weird because I don't really hear his name mentioned, you know, as a transfer target for any clubs, which is kind of surprising.
I think it's the price. I think it's the price, though, Titch.
Do you know what he's valued
50 million, I think it was, something ridiculous. Like, and I think it's an hard one. Like, would you go and pay 50 million out for one player when you can go and get a couple? Like, do you know what I mean? Maybe look a bit younger. It's the market at the minute. The market is too high for the players. So Ward-Prowse is good, but is he a 50 million pound player? Not for me. Like, do you know what I mean?
Spend that, you've got to play him. So the top teams, he don't get in their starting team. So then, so I didn't know that was his release clause. So yeah, I understand then why that kind of makes sense. And Southampton have done smart business because they know that fee realistically, no one ain't going to pay that for him.
I agree.
So they'll keep it. Yeah. So, but definitely a very good player, proven Premier League player, England international, and he's on your bench. So it's a very, very strong bench. So you've got 2 more subs, James. Where are we going for the 8th substitute?
Watford, Hertfordshire. Sarr for Watford. I watched this lad in France when he used to play for Rennes, I think it was, and he was very good. I watched him in the Europa League game against Arsenal, and he tore Arsenal apart. Very, very good player. He's got touted a few years ago to go to Man United. Even I think we was after him at one stage, but he ended up staying at Watford, getting them promoted, and he's there now this season. Is he wasted at Watford? Yeah, but if this man scores and helps the team, I think he keeps Watford up. I know Watford haven't had a great start. I think they've lost 3-1-1, but he's their he's their vocal point of their team. If he performs, they perform. Like it's like a cycle. Like they've got their one key man, and he's their man. And I do rate Sarr. I like him. He's a winger. He can play both flanks, go through the middle. He's very, very good. And again, he's another youngster. I think he's 20. He's about 25, 26, I think. So he's not old in like football terms.
I'm going to check that now, his age, sorry. He is 23.
Oh, so he's even younger than that. So, he's 23. He's a youngster. He's like a pup then. And he's going to get better.
Everton has just scored a screamer. Sorry to cut you, Jay. Andrew Townsend. Great, about 25 yards. You know, Sarr, when he was in the Premier League, because I didn't see him at Rennes, but in the Premier League, he was a very, very good player. You know, credit to him for... you know, staying, like, because he was obviously, he's their main asset. He stayed there, and I know this summer Liverpool have been linked with him. Do you understand? So, he's 23. He's young. If they go down, then this time he's moving on. But he's definitely he's one of those players that I think that when you put him at a bigger club and a better team, you're going to see a tremendous player. Like because I do rate him as well. And he's already played in the Premier League, and he done very well when he was there last time. He's gone down, obviously helped them come back up. And yeah, I think you put him in a better team, and you're going to see a top player. So once again, James, to have him on your bench, like and like I said, after this last sub, we'll just run through your bench, but it's looking good, man. Very good. That's a great goal, by the way. What last club, James, for your sub number 9 in this? The last
club is the club what's on the telly right now, and that is Everton.
Everton. There we go. It's working properly today.
And a left back I've gone for in Luca Dina, the Frenchman.
Hmm.
Very reliable, very good. You don't go and play for France if at left back if you're rubbish basically. And he's a good player, ex Barcelona. And I think Everton got a steal when they got him. Really, they really
How much
did.
is it?
I'm not too sure how
Right.
much it was, but it was cheap. It wasn't expensive at all, and they
Can
got
I
him in
cut
it.
you? I
Yeah,
want to cut you and then carry on. The reason why, speaking of getting people on the cheap, as a steal and
mm.
Everton, guess who just made it 3-1 for them for 1.5 mil?
uh, Gray,
Right.
Damari Gray. Yeah,
What a snip. 1.5. He just scored.
mm.
So as we're speaking about Everton and getting a bargain with Luca Dean, 1.5
Yeah.
mil in this day and age is ridiculous
It's
money.
peanuts.
And now he's what's that? His second or third Premier League goal.
Second, I think it
Okay.
is.
Well, so
Mm.
yeah, so carry on about Dean. Obviously,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dean is very good. Yeah, very good, mate. He's very right. He loves the booking. I'll give him that. But he's he's very very good, and I can't like. When I was doing this team, I thought I need someone on the left hand side who could be like a left back, like so to speak, and he was the man who got the subs bench for me. So yeah,
You know, Charlie Boy picked him in his starting team, and I was full of praise for Luca Dean.
mm.
He's very, set pieces and assist, and yeah, you understand. He's a very cultured sort of left back. He plays for France, like you said. He come from Barcelona, so I don't know what they paid for him, but yeah. So and the fact that, like I said, when Charlie put him on his starting team, I didn't turn my nose up like Luca Dean.
Yeah,
No, oh, they just scored again. It's 4-1, man. What the hell? Oh no. Maybe offside. So the fact that you've got him on your bench, you
mm.
understand? Because like I said, he was in Charlie's team, and I thought, you know what? Yeah, his back line is solid. So yeah, I think he's offside. Yeah, he's offside. What we're gonna do, James, is just run through your subs, and then we're gonna get into the juicy bit. But like I said, that your substitutes bench is looking tidy. We've got Saka from Arsenal, who is he can play fullback, he can play on the wing, he can play as a 10 as well. So that's a
Mm.
utility player, but not a shit one. Like that's yeah,
Yeah,
he can do it. He's very good in any position. So a real quality utility player, I would class him as. Tyrone Mings from Villa, left-footed, left-sided England international centre back, and another one that he's a very good player, and to have him on your bench would make that a very, very strong bench. And obviously, he's good enough to start in a lot of these teams. Ivan Toney from Brentford, striker, proven at every level he's played at. Still what's he, 24, Tony? Maybe 25?
24. Yeah, 23, 24. Yeah.
So young, still got a lot of, growth, I would say. And
Mm.
yeah, to have him on your bench, he's going to come on, he's going to be hungry, and he's probably, last 25 minutes for your team, he's probably like the ideal man to stick up top. So great pick. Burnley, Nick Pope, who once again, Charlie Boy had him as his starting team. He's on your bench. I believe he's England's best goalkeeper.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I genuinely believe that. And yeah, I've got no, I don't look at the team, but no, I look at him as an individual, and I think he's a solid goalkeeper. And I don't think England are blessed with any world-class goalkeepers, but I feel that he's England's best goalkeeper. And like you said, he's still young. He's playing in a team that he's got gonna have to do a lot more. But if you put him in a better team with a better defense and whatnot, then once again, just like Sarr, you're going to see a much better goalkeeper. So, yeah, good pick. Palace, you've gone for Zaha, who is, if everybody like this concept is you're picking them the best version of them, then he's Palace's best player, no doubt about that. He's another one, game changer. And if you were to bring off, the best version of Zaha off the bench in any team, that's problems for whoever he's playing against. He's a winger. So you've got a nice balance so far. We move on to Newcastle, St. Maximin. Once again, you've picked their best player who, on his day, could start in possibly any of the Premier League teams. Winger, 10. So yeah, he's another one that, you know, he can play in more than one position, and on his day he will single-handedly win you a game. So to have him also on your bench is crazy. We go to the South Coast. We've got James Ward-Prowse, which is it's your only midfielder, isn't it? Centre midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we've praised him. He's the Southampton captain. He's an England international. Probably slightly unlucky because of, you know, like the way Southgate wants to play, and, you know, Rice and Phillips have got the nod there. But he's another one that, you know, he keeps possession. Set pieces are second to none. You know, his passing range as well, and he does get around the pitch. He's not as, you know, probably fast as those two, but he always puts in a shift. So he's a threat. He's one of those guys that, you know, he pops up in, you know, the right places, and like, yeah, he's definitely a dangerous player. So yeah, and Southampton's best player by far. Watford, we just spoke about Ismail Assar, another one, winger, and who could possibly play centre forward as well. I don't think he plays there, but I definitely think he could definitely play in that position. But another quality player, and we just found out he's only 23 years old, so he's still got a lot more improving to go, and he's going to be a top player. And then your last sub is Luca Dean. We've just spoke about him, and yeah, to have him also on your bench is not one of those players that, like, you know, going back to Charlie, when he picked Mope, Everton should have scored. When he picked Mope, I was like, you know, like, maybe I would have picked Lamptey rather than Mope. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, but I think your bench is, I'm not looking at any of these. I think from the clubs you've picked all of their, well, not Everton, not their best player, because obviously they've got, you know, but I'm saying you've picked, yeah, that's a great bench.
Yeah, well, I've done. I've tried to balance that bench out as much as I can. And when we get into sort of the starting 11, there's a lot of players who I can take out and put into different positions who could fill the job, basically. So, yeah.
Well, so yeah, I know sometimes I talk and then I just can't stop. But yeah, great bench. So now I always call this a juicy bit, because this is what people want to see is the actual starting team. You know, somebody's, well, this one's going to be obvious one. Once you say the club, then everyone's going to know who this is. And this is probably the best goalkeeper in the league. Which club are we going to, James?
Chelsea.
Right. And yeah, because I spoke for a while, just explain, like, obviously who and then why. Like, what do you know, like, rate about this guy?
I like the player I'm going for is Mendy, the goalkeeper. I think last season he come in, he's just solid. He keeps a lot of clean sheets. Obviously, there's great goalkeepers in the Premier League. There's Ellison, there's Edison, and I think Mendy's up there. I think he really is. He's come under the radar. He got signed from a French club. I think it was Rennes again.
Rennes.
Yeah,
it was.
And he's very, very good. Very, very good. I don't ever see this man do any howlers or anything silly. Everything's basic. Everything's controlled. He's a great shot stopper. He's vocal. He's very, very good. And like, I could have had other players for Chelsea, but I just thought to myself, he's solid, and he keeps a lot of clean sheets for me. So I've gone for Mendy.
Right, this might sound stupid, but is he French, or does he play for African team?
I think he's Senegalese. I'm not too sure.
The reason why I asked that is because I'm thinking I don't know what international, and he's better than Lloris, I believe. Let me just check that actually, because I know. One sec. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, he's Senegal. No, not Senegal. No, wrong one. Where the hell is he? One sec, James. Yeah, I think he's got a presence about him as well, man, and he's got like cat-like reflexes. Yeah, he made a double save. Who did Chelsea play the other day? Villa, was it?
Yeah.
And Villa was they was well in the game, and he made a double save. Like, he saved it, and then, you know, they should have scored the rebound, and he managed to save that as well. So Mendy is between Alisson, Edison, and Mendy. I think it's a toss-up between who is the best Premier League. It's those three are a cut above the rest. But yeah, he's a solid goalkeeper. Like, obviously, it limits. You can't pick anyone else from Chelsea. And Chelsea got, you know, they've got abundance of talent. But, you know, I think Mendy is a quality goalkeeper. Let me just check where it's from, man. Yeah, it's Senegal. Yeah, you're right. But that's a great pick. Great pick. Now, let's go to we're gonna go. Tell me the club and then because it's your right back. It will be. We'll go from there.
So my right back will be you said him earlier on, Lamptey from Brighton.
Yeah. Explain him as well.
Ex-Chelsea, mate. Ex-Chelsea youngster, come through the academy at Chelsea. And Chelsea had a choice between Reece James and Lamptey. And obviously they chose Reece James and Lamptey was sold. And if you want bargains, he was a bargain. I think he only cost Brian a couple of million. And I think he's phenomenal. The only problem is with him, he picks up an injury because he's that rapid. Defensively, maybe he's not known for his defensive ability, but going the other way, he's phenomenal. He beats players, he gets in the box, great crossing,
quick,
quick, scores goals. So, yeah, I've gone for Lamptey, mate. I like a bit of pace on my left back and right back positions, and for me, from Brighton, he's one of their best players, if not their best player.
Yeah, he probably. Because I rate him very, very, very highly. I would say overall, for me anyway, I would say he's their best player. But yeah, he's a fantastic player, man. Like, and like his height is, from what I've seen, it's not an issue. You understand? Like, it's like it doesn't affect his impact on a game. So he's a phenomenal player, man. I like the way he dribbles. The chance he creates, his pace, and his recovery. Like, yeah, he's a great, and you're taking him out of Brighton and you're putting him into this team of yours. So once again, you're going to see an even better player. But that's I like him. I really do. Where are we going for your right centre back, James?
Go to Liverpool, mate.
Liverpool. No explanation needed. But yeah,
I'm gonna go for Mr. Van Dijk. World class, mate. If I'm honest, world class centre half and. Like, it's an hard one because we've got a lot of world-class centre-halves in the league now. Like, we've got Diaz, who plays for
City.
City. Obviously, you've got Van Dijk. There's a few others in there. Varane even. Yeah, Man United. Got some great players who have come to the Premier League over the last couple of years. And I must admit, Van Dijk from Celtic to Van Dijk at Liverpool, shadow. Of the man, like when he was at Celtic, he was good. When he went to Southampton, he was great. But now he's just world class, mate. He's a Rolls Royce type of defender, solid in the air, good on the ground. Like, he's a sort of defender that you want, and full well when you're playing a game that he's going to be like the Rock. Like, do you know what I mean? He reminds me of Vincent Kompany for Liverpool, as he was for Man City. And I can't praise the man up enough. Do you know what I mean? I could have went for other players in Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool got world-class players like Arne, Salah, etc. But I went for him because I just think he's another one. When he plays, Liverpool don't concede many goals.
Exactly. Now, you just called him a Rolls Royce. That's how I described him. And like I said, we're picking the best version. Would you say he's the best centre-back in the world currently?
It's an hard one, mate. It's an hard one because I would say Diaz at City was very, very good last season. Ask me that after this season. If all three of them are playing, Varane, Diaz, and Van Dijk, then we'll see who's the number one. But you can't knock his ability as a player because he's just a different level, mate. He's just a different level. When I look at him, I just think when Liverpool play. And he plays, they don't lose. They don't lose many games. And what it is with Van Dijk, he don't make many mistakes either. He might make one or two, but that'll be it. And he won't do nothing for another year. Do you know what I mean? So he's just class, mate. Really class player.
Do you know, just quickly before we move on, I think he showed that when, I know Chelsea went down to 10 men, but the way he sort of, just kept Lukaku sort of very, very quiet.
Yeah,
and that's not easy to do. I think it's he there's not many players that can keep Lukaku quiet, and obviously Van Dijk, yeah, he has that ability. So
yeah,
I picked him in my one from each team, and I just think that Liverpool once again overall he's their best player because of what he brings to the team. You understand, like, so yeah, he's a phenomenal player. Fo, for your left centre back or his partner, which club are we going to?
Leicester, mate. Leicester City.
Right.
And I'm going for Wesley Fofana. I like this kid. I really do. Like, West Ham were linked with him. And yet again, West Ham sit on their hands and has to get in there and get the player. It's a shame he's got this injury. You know, he broke his leg just before the start of the season. And he's out now for like a year. But as a player, he's only young. And he is going to be like, he'll be in the French team before you know it. And he'll be, I don't think he'll be at Leicester for long. Let's put it like that. I just think he's a really, really good player. A bit naive. I will say one thing. I like to criticise him. He gets a bit naive sometimes, but his pace, his awareness, is very, very good. And I look at him and I think it was a very much a missed opportunity that we didn't get him at West Ham.
But, you know, once again, I highly rate this boy. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
And you said Leicester, he won't be there for long. I don't think Leicester mind because they know they seem to, in the transfer market, they do their due diligence. You understand? So they get these players in, you know, even like Maguire, sell them on. Like, so they, once again, and then they reinvest. So, you know, if they double their money or triple their money, that's always their intention. You understand? Like, they know, listen, let's get this guy, let's polish him up a bit. I think they spent 30 on him, didn't they?
It was something like that, 25, 30, something like that. Yeah.
Right. So I think, I don't know Leicester's model, but I think, you know, if they get 60 for him, for them, that's how they do it. Like, you understand, we double our money. So, but from what I've seen of this guy, man, he is, I really, you know, like, I really, really like him. Like, so for you, I mean, Charlie Boy had Varane and Van Dijk, great partnership. And this too is a great partnership as well because he's weird. He's like his shape and the way he's like almost like a winger. Like, you know, the way he moves and all that. It's like, it's weird. Like, he doesn't, you know, with Van Dijk and Varane, they move like, you know, like classy centre backs. He's more of the way he's built on that. It's hard to explain, but he's more like a midfielder or a winger, like the way he is and the way he moves in it. So I just think he's very unique as a centre back, and I just think like you said there, I think he's going to be definitely starting player for the French team, but I think he's going to be spoken about the way we're speaking about Van Dijk's and your Varanes, and I think it won't be too long before he's mentioned in that category as well. So and you know, you said it's unfortunate he's injured, which it is, but you know, for us, we played against Ndidi and who was the other centre back, so I'm glad he did. I'm glad he didn't play against us.
I can't remember who the other centre back was, but I know what you mean.
But I mean, you always want to see the best players playing regardless. But I'm glad he didn't play against us. But you know, James, that's definitely Van Dijk and Fofana as a centre back pairing is up there. That's a top pairing. So as I said already, looking good. Your left back, tell me which club?
Norwich City.
You know, this is the beauty of this. They're not the best team and all that, but clearly they've made your starting one of their players.
They're not the best team, but this player is their best player, and I'm surprised that this player's still here. And that's Max Aarons for me.
Max Aarons.
I think he's phenomenal, mate. He's 21 years old, London lad from Hammersmith. Very, very, very good. Very good. Like, he's been linked with Dortmund. He's been linked with Tottenham. He's been linked with even Man United at stages.
Was it not? And was it Bayern as well? Or no? Or was it Dortmund, the only German?
I think it was only Dortmund. It might have been Bayern, but he was linked with Dortmund. So I think even Atletico Madrid at one stage. He's a very, very good player, mate. He can play on both sides. He can play left or right. He's 2-footed, pacey, good defender. Well, reminds me very much of Kyle Walker type player. That he's
Yeah.
got that pace that if he ever gets exposed, he can get himself out of trouble. And for me, he's very, very good, mate. And that's why I put him in there for the simple fact of that he's got pace to burn, this kid, and he's only 21. So, yeah, I can't praise this lad up enough.
Right, you know more about, like, yeah, from what I've seen of him, like I've said already, he was on Charlie's bench, and I said, you know, I think he was. Yes, he was. And I said, yeah, from what I've seen, and I know, I said to him, I wasn't sure whether it's buying. It might have been Dortmund, but I knew a German club was interested in. Is he as good a left back as he is a right back? Like, is he comfortable playing there?
I think so. I believe so. I think he just does his job very, very well. But the problem is, it makes him look bad because of Norwich. Like, if he goes and sits in a team, argument's sake, let's say West Ham, for instance, which would be a great signing for us. If we signed him as a left back to replace Cresswell, what a sign that'd be. I think he's top class, mate. I think it's all about progression. Like, I don't understand why he's still there. I don't understand why no one's come in with a bid. Maybe Norwich have asked for like
too much
silly money, which is keeping him there. But I can't praise this kid up enough. And what he does is he does everything really well, and he's a good player. Really, really is.
Yeah. So before we move on, you've got Mendy in goal. You've got Tariq Lamptey right back. You've got Van Dijk, Fofana centre back, and you've got Max Aarons left back. Now, you know, one thing that stands out, you know, amongst the other traits is that back line is fast. Like, there's pace in there.
Yeah.
You know, there's other obviously quality, but I'm saying all four of them is fast. You understand? Like, yeah, the fullbacks are quicker than the centre backs, but centre backs are always, you know, slightly. But I'm saying, but the centre backs are quick centre backs as well. So yeah, it's gonna I like that. I like what you've done there. Especially, like I said, they're all good players, but pace is, you know, in the modern day, you do want pace, and you've got that in abundance in your back line, and then you've got Mendy behind them. So yeah. Oh, sorry. I know that James is playing a 4-2-1-3 formation. Yeah, I should have said that earlier. And the reason why is because now we're going to get onto your two defensive midfielders. And which club are we going to first?
Which is West Ham United. And
okay, let me just get them up on this. Oh, there they are. One sec, mate. West Ham. I wonder who.
And I'm going for a world-class box-to-box defensive midfield player in Declan Rice. I don't. As West Ham fans, we're going to be a bit biased towards Declan. We love him, right? You know what I mean? But from the outsiders looking in now, I think people are starting to see how good this man really is. Like how he's cemented his place in the England team. And there's going to come a day when he has to say goodbye to West Ham because he wants to go on to bigger and better things. And that day will be a sad day for us. But I won't be sad that it's over. I will smile that it's happened because this man has just been absolutely amazing. Really has.
Yep.
And I can't praise this lad up enough. He took the captaincy. He's driven this club forward. He's world class. He's world class. And for me, when he does decide to leave, when someone else comes knocking, it'd be a sad day for us.
Yeah, and you know, I've been, you know, banging on about him, and like you said, there is certain people that, you know, and I think they now, people that I spoke to about him, you know, previously before he was playing for England, and they're like, what? And now they sort of appreciate the player he is. I think, you know, naturally is, of course, like you said with Aaron's, and you know, like it's, you know, there's progression, and we have to be realistic. Look, yes, I feel he should have stayed this season because, you know, like we got into Europe, we had a fantastic season. He was, you know, a major part of that. And for him to bounce now will kind of leave us in the lurch, you know, like, so I think, like, yeah, do this season, but we have to be realistic and say, you know what, balancing the two, still got a thin squad. Are we going to get Europe again next year? Probably not, unless we win the thing. So, you know, if he goes, my one thing would be like, let's get top dollar for him. Let's get what he's worth. Do you understand? Like, because he's worth, and I quoted 100 million probably, I don't know, a year or year and a half ago, and even then it was scoffed at. But I believe that, and the fact that Jack Grealish went for 100 million, I know the different position. Jack Grealish is slightly older. Jack Grealish is not a guaranteed England starter like Rice is. So I think for what they both bring to the team, if Grealish is worth 100 mil, then Declan Rice is as well. So I just hope that West Ham get the maximum money for him and reinvest it where the 2 or 3 players we bring in overall strengthen us more than him as a single entity. Do you understand? So, but you know, like, I don't think he's gonna kick up a fuss. I think, you know, I think he appreciates what West Ham done for him when Chelsea released him. So, you know, I think there's a respect there, but you know, it's what's the word? It's inevitable that we know he's going to move on. You understand? And I hope when he does move on, he goes to a club where he wins the trophies, and you know, what we can't offer him. Basically, like, I hope it's not you make the move and kind of, boy, you know, like, you know, Liverpool was in the lurch for a long time in regards to the league. Like, you know, like, he goes there expecting, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, things turn around and he goes somewhere and you think, well, he didn't even win anything. You understand? So yeah, I hope that he wins some trophies, because he's definitely a world-class player. He's definitely in the top 3 Premier League defensive midfield players. Yeah. And I'm normally like very harsh on West Ham players, and you know, like, because I like with my kids, when I coach them, I'm more hard on them than the other kids. So the fact that I'm saying, listen, this guy can walk into any team shows you how good he is, because like I said, I'm very critical of West Ham players until they show me, listen. Yeah. But yeah, you know, as soon as you said West Ham, and then that, we know it's going to be. And yeah, and there's still more to come. He's still, what's he, 21 or 22?
22, mate.
Yeah, so yeah. And the good thing with him is that, you know, he could easily play centre-back. You know, like, I know he started there and there was a few sort of errors and whatnot, but, you know, he could easily play just as well as a centre-back as he can as a defensive. And I think he would show up a lot of these big-name centre-backs. If he played as a centre-back, I think he would show them levels because of the way he drives, the way he's composed, you know, the way he reads the game. I think he's better than a lot of established centre-backs already. But yeah, natural choice once you go for a defensive midfielder from West Ham. So, James, which club is going to partner him? So which club and which player is going to partner our boy in the middle?
Well, I'm going to go to Leeds, up in Yorkshire.
Yep.
And we are going for Mr. Calvin Phillips. This lad, I never used to rate, mate, but I watched him in the Euros and I can see the hype now. He just does the job. He does the job very, very well. He's not as elegant as Rice, so to speak, but he's effective. He gets about the pitch. He's got bundles of energy, and the partnership that them two made up in the Euros. And let's be honest, we was a penalty kick away from winning the thing. Is the reason why he's coming in the team. It was very close with Leeds, me picking Leeds, because I could have had Rafinha in there, who I think is very, very good. Bamford's another one who's half decent. But I've gone for Phillips because I just think the partnership of the two of them that they have got together for England, that's what I would want in my team.
Definitely. And obviously this team would play in the Premier League. So yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. Once you go Leeds, I think now it's got to be him, and especially as, you know, like, that's the partnership, like you said. And, you know, like, I think the more we do this, a lot of people, real football people, will pick those two. The only other one that you could potentially throw in is Ndidi, I think, from, you know, Fabinho's a good one as well, actually. But, you know, everyone's going to go for Van Dijk for Liverpool. They're not, Fabinho won't be people's pick for Liverpool. So you're looking at, I think, Ndidi, Rice, or Phillips if you're playing two defensive midfielders, I would imagine. Right, so we're going to go to your number 10. Tell me which club.
Manchester City.
Oh, I wonder who.
It's the Kevin De Bruyne. world class. It's world
Mm.
class, mate, isn't he? Let's be honest. I think he's in his 30s now, or
Yeah,
29,
he's
30.
30. Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
30. Yeah, I checked
30.
that.
But he's he's a phenomenal player. Like, and do you know, he's always been a good player. But I watched him for Belgium in the Euros, he Belgium were losing a game. I think they was against Denmark, I believe, and he come on the pitch, 1-0
Yes.
down, and
Oh my days.
he just turned that game completely round, scored a goal, made a goal. Kevin De Bruyne is world class, mate. It's another one with City. I could have had a lot of players. I could have had Walker in there, Edison, Diaz,
Mahrez,
Mahrez.
Diaz,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's
Sterling,
just
Sterling would be, yeah.
even Sterling, even Jesus, if I wanted to have a backup striker, like for instance. But yeah, I went for him for the sheer fact he's world class. I could even have Grealish in there if I wanted to, but
Exactly.
it's yeah, he's Grealish. Grealish is he's like going to be his replacement. So when De Bruyne's done and finished, Grealish will take that role as a number 10, I believe personally. But yeah, he's a phenomenal player, mate. He went to Chelsea, didn't make the grade. Went to Wolfsburg, done very very well at Wolfsburg. Got touted at Man City. I'll never forget it. In the art, there was something in the paper or on the media, and someone turned around and said, "Oh, he'll never make it." Like I think Paul Merson said it. He's like, I don't think I think it's a waste of money, and the man's just next level, like world class, number 10, mate, for me.
Would you, I
Phenomenal.
mean, I'd say yes, but would you say the type of player he is, the position he is he currently the best in the world in that position? I know he plays sometimes deep line or further
Yeah.
forward.
I think you got a few in there, haven't you? Obviously, you got to put Bruno up there. I think Bruno's a decent number 10 for United, but I think yeah, and when the people have this argument about who's the better player, who's one of the best, the first man they mention or who's in the conversation is De Bruyne, because
Mm.
I just think he turns the game, mate. He makes other players play better. Man City, when he plays well, that Man City never lose. Like
Yeah.
he never has and I never really see him have a bad game
No.
where
I
he's being hold off. So for me, he's one of the best, if not the best in the world.
yeah. And that's what I think. I think if I was to do this, you know, I would pick him and then I would see, okay, what's my team going to do? You understand? Like, sorry, like you said, City have got abundance of talent, but I'm picking him straight away. You understand? There's no hesitancy for me. Like, this guy scores goals, creates goals, just the way he strikes the ball, you know, like, it's just so clean and powerful. Like, I just think he's like different gravy. Like, I believe still that in his position, I know, like he said, he can play in, you know, deep or further forward. But I mean, anyone that's similar to him, there's no one better than him. So I would say
Nah.
for the player he's the best in the world. So listen, we're gonna go to your right attacking midfielder. So if you tell me the club,
I think it's Wolves. I think.
yeah,
Is it Wolves? Yeah, it is Wolves.
yes,
Yeah.
it's Wolves. One sec, let me just put them up, James. And then we'll go to your left, and then we'll do the striker last. Yeah. So Wolves, who's your right winger or right attacking midfielder?
Neto for Wolves, mate. I think he's phenomenal. This kid. He's injured. He's been injured. He plays for Portugal. Very, very good. Very, very good. I think people might look at him and go, "Well, why Neto? Like of all the people, and why is he in your starting lineup?" But when I look at this lad, I could have had Traore in there, but I went for Neto just for the simple fact he's another one. He's young. He's going to get better. He won't. He's another Jota, like really, and he will be at a bigger club in a couple of years, I believe. And I believe the only reason why he's not at a bigger club right now is because of the injury that he's got. He's picked up a bit of an injury. I'm not sure how bad the injury is, but he's been out since the start of the season. But he's a very, very good player, mate. And I just think he beats a man, he scores goals. And you know, when we was talking earlier, and I said that as players for clubs, they go somewhere else, are they going to be the same player? He's in that bracket. I think at Wolves, he's very, very good. But I think if he goes somewhere like, say Liverpool, would he be the same player? Maybe. But it's like I'm on the fence there, but I think at Wolves he's very, very good. Would I say he's their best player? Possibly not, but I do like him, so I've gone for Neto for Wolves, mate.
So, people watching this might say in that position, why not go with Traore? Why would you pick him, you personally, over Traore?
Traore's very, very fast, but he's got no end product for me. Very fast, very mobile, very strong. But when he gets into the final third and he gets in front of the goal, he misses a hell of a lot of chances. When Neto's in front of the goal, I would fancy him to score or at least get it on target. So that's the reason why I've gone for Neto.
So basically, this is what I thought, is you feel he has more... He's more composed and he has more quality than
He's more clinical. Okay. He's more clinical than Traore. Traore is very good, strong, robust, beats people. But if Traore had end product, he wouldn't be at Wolves. If that makes sense. And that's not being rude on him, but it's just being facts, mate. If he would score 15 goals a season minimum. Traore for the amount of speed he's got and how he gets past people. But when I look at Neto, he plays for he's Portuguese. They've got an array of talent coming through now in Portugal, and I just think he's going to be the next big thing. I really do. Okay,
so yours is it's even a bit of potential in there as well that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Your squad. All right, so we're going to move over to your left attacking midfielder. So tell me what club we're going to, James, please.
Spurs, sadly.
Spuds. Right. Who's your left? Yeah.
I haven't gone for Kane. I'm not as a West Ham fan. I don't like Kane personally, but I've gone for Son, who I do like. He's a very, very, very good player, and he's. I always say it that when Spurs are without Kane and Spurs rely on Kane and Son, and if one of them's out, the other one there's a lot of pressure on the other one. And now Son is out; he's injured, and that's where I think Spurs might have problems. Son as a player, I think he does everything you want: fast, beats people, scores goals, makes goals. In and around the box, good crossing ability. Headering's not so good, but you don't need all that. You can't be good at everything. But for me, he's top class, and it's strange how he's still at Spurs. Like how he doesn't want to progress and try and win something with someone else. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's a funny one there. But as a player and as for someone who's coming into my team, I can't fault him, mate. I think he would destroy a lot of defences.
Once again, like I said, I've done this over Christmas, and I picked him as well. In regards to him not leaving, he seems like one of those guys that is very, I think, without sounding condescending, I think he's grateful for, the life he has, and I think he's happy at Spurs, and I think, I think he values his relationships, because I agree with you. Like, he could have went on and, won stuff at bigger clubs. So the fact that he's still there, and they've checked, Pochettino, people thought was the lure there, but he's still there. So maybe he's just happy. You understand? And some people,
he's content. I think he's just, German. Someone's just sort of like, I think what it is, would he get the same amount of love from other fans? Who he signs for than he does for Spurs fans, if that makes sense. And maybe not.
Yeah, maybe that is his thought process. Yeah, I think content is the word. Maybe that everything is good in his life. All right, not the trophy list side, but everything else. I think I'm just assuming, but I just think he's very content is the word, and the fans, his teammates, and like I said, the fact that Pochettino left, I thought that would have been a catalyst for them, but they're still there. So maybe, he might stick it out of Tottenham. But which would be a shame. He's another one. I feel like, he's that good that I'd like to see him at a Barca or something. You understand? And I think you know, Barcelona in this transition, there was definitely you know, he potentially, that was a club that he could have easily slotted into. I know they got Depay now, but Depay does play through the middle. So Son, I think he could go Barca and you know, like improve them. But maybe he might stick it out at Spurs, unfortunately. So I don't even know. I'm trying to think now. Who's your club? Which club are we? Because which club for your striker? And then it's going to be obvious.
Manchester United.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
And to round it off, I've ended with the greatest player of all time, mate, Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. Some people might say, "Oh, I don't know, I'm an hour bad," but the stats don't lie with him. He's 36 years old now. He's going to be 37 soon. And he's still tearing it up in the biggest leagues in the world, and he's still looking like he's 25. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What else can I say about him, mate? He scores goals, makes goals. He's a leader. He's a winner. He does everything. Like, he's like an inspiration. Like, this boy come over from Portugal at 18 years old and saw it up in the Premier League, and he left to go and play for the club that he really loved to play for in Real Madrid. Maybe after he left Real Madrid, maybe he should have gone back to United, but he didn't work out. He ended up in Juventus. And now he's back at Man United, and I do have a strong suspicion that Man United will be challenging this year. I look at that team with him in it, and he will make all their players 10 times better just being around them, like talking to them, advising them and all that. And he ain't going to be the same Ronaldo that we all remember, like 10, 12 years ago. But he's more like a 6-yard box or 18-yard box type of player. He'll be lurking around, like being there, like making sure, like using his experience and everything. But as a player, and when all is said and done, and he does retire and he sails off into the sunset, he's been arguably one of the best footballers to ever walk the planet.
Right. So, you know, people say he's not the same player, and all right, admittedly, but the player that left was a tricky winger, but amongst other things. But I'm saying what he's added to his game is his aerial ability. He didn't have that when he left Manchester United. Now in the air, the guy's a beast. He's, you know, his physical attributes, he's stronger now than when he left. So yeah, people will say, you've got a completely different player. Some of the things that he was, you know, prominent for with the step over, that's gone. But the aerial ability, the 6-yard, 8-yard nous, you know, that's now there. So I just feel that the age in football is you know, there's always people that go against the grain. He's one of them. So his age means nothing. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, another one who's testament to that, you know, he does his martial arts, he keeps himself, and you understand what I'm saying to you. So the age for me is nothing. I think he's going to play at the highest level for 2, 3, maybe even 4 seasons. I genuinely mean that, because he's not. You got to think. You know, I think he's a bit older than Rooney. You know, I think he's a few months older than Rooney.
Yeah,
you understand? So age depends on the individual. You understand? It's some people are young, but they're flipping old, and vice versa.
I think he just loves the game, mate. Because let's be honest, he doesn't have to do it. Like, he could, like, he's a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire, right, with the amount of money he's got, and like sponsorships and etc. But when I look at him, I just think to myself, that Man United team was good. Now that's a great team with him in it, and I just think how one player can turn that team from being like sort of there abouts, but not quite, but to going up to now they can.
Exactly.
No, like it just turned on one player, and for me, like everyone says, the argument Messi and Ronaldo, they're both been phenomenal. Like, do you know what I mean? Both of them, like whether you love Messi or you love Ronaldo, like they're both been world class superstars. But when I look at Ronaldo, I just look at him as a man. He's challenged himself everywhere he's gone. He's gone to Real, like he's won He's won things at Real Madrid. He went to Juventus and won things. He's even won things for Portugal, his national team, and he's like, yeah, again, he's the vocal point of that country. So
yeah,
to keep your to keep the determination and the will, and not to go, you know what, I've had enough of this sort of thing.
yeah.
I actually think he's getting better with age. I think he's more the running. What Man United have done very well this season is they've recruited pace all around him, so they can be the runners and he can just be there. And I think he's still got a bit of pace, but like, do you know what I mean? When you've got youngsters around you, it makes your job a lot easier.
Do you know what? I've not read this anywhere. I think that he targets records, as in he's got a list of records. Look, he's now the all-time international goals. So I think he's had his eye on that for many of years. So I don't know what his targets would be, and a lot of these are individual ones where, you know, like he might think, okay, you know, Man United, Premier League, you know, goals. I just think that he's always, that's what motivates him, where he's always got another challenge. You understand? So I feel he's got a whole list of goals and targets, and he ain't satisfied till he's broken those records or he's reached those. You understand? So people could say, oh, 3 seasons at Juve, 100 and so he's reached. Do you understand? 100 and I think 101 goals or whatever. I think that that's his motivation is let me set myself these targets and achieve them. And I think because of that, that's why he's going to keep on going as long as he can.
I don't think Hitch he stops until he wins out with Man United. I think he will keep, even if he plays into his 40s, right? Yeah, I just believe that he's back there. There's no way that he's going to walk away from Man United and retire. Say it's for 2-year deal. Walk away from there without winning something. Like, he's gone there to win, and he wants them to win something. And I think it'll be his last hurrah. He'll go there, and I believe, and this is obviously going to go out, but I believe that if they do ever win the Premier League, he will retire after. He'll go, you know what, I've done it now. Yeah, I do. Because he's got nothing else to prove, mate. He ain't got to go to America. He ain't got to go to China. He's set up for life. His family's set up for life. And I think it'll come to a stage, what else can he do? Like if he goes and wins the Premier League with Man United, not saying this season, it could happen this season, but say next season, for instance, then he'll be coming up to 40. Like, does he need to do it anymore? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's done everything he wants. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to start. He wants to end where he started. Do you know what I mean? And that's and that'd be the fairy tale ending from, I believe.
I think that he's the type of person he is. I think that going back to Man U, Ole hasn't won anything there. I just think that, you know, for his ego, that's another motivation. Listen, if I come back and we win, whether it's the Champions League or whether it's the Premier League, people will say, you know, Ronaldo was, you know, that signing enabled them to go on and win the league. So yeah, I think that's another one of his motivations, because it's you know, people will be speaking about his impact on that team. So it's look, West Ham ain't going to win the Premier League, let's be honest. So I think that between City, Chelsea, now Man United, and Liverpool as well, they're still in there. I think it's definitely a 4-way, which is a good thing for the Premier League. I think he now, between him, Sancho, and Varane, you've added real quality, and he's that, you know, that next level. So yeah, it should be an interesting Premier League. But you know what? And I'll be honest when I say this, that for him, even though I am more of a Messi fan, only because Messi's more of a team player, and you know, it's the arrogance and the selfishness with Ronaldo but you know, his stats don't lie. But I'm saying, realistically, I would love him to, like you just said, you know, like a final hurrah. If he comes back and wins the league, you know, like even for Alex Ferguson, you know, like, you know, that was his boy, he brought him through, and now he's obviously helped get him back. And I'm not Manchester United, obviously, but, you know, I just think it would be a great story, footballing story, that if he comes back and they do win the Premier League. Yeah, like, genuinely, like, and Ferguson comes into that equation as to, you know, like how satisfying that would be for him as well. So yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting season. But let's just go back through your starting team. Where are we? One sec, James. We've got Mendy in goal. Right, let me take this off the screen because last time I've done that, I left it on too long. Right, let's go back to that. Cool. We've got Mendy in goal from Chelsea. You've got Tariq Lamptey from Brighton as your right back. Alongside him at centre back, you've got Virgil van Dijk. His defence centre back partnership is Wesley Fofana from Leicester. And to complete your back line, you have Max Aarons playing left back. He can play left or right back from Norwich. Playing a 4-2-1-3 formation. Your two defensive midfielders are Declan Rice, who, as you've already explained, is a world-class defensive midfielder. And partnering him is from Leeds, Calvin Phillips, who's obviously he's England midfield partner. And like you said we was one penalty away from winning that. I just think that we didn't go for the throat when we should have done, and we would have won that final, man. We had them. So, and those two played a major part in England's progression. And I feel sorry for them because, you know, I just think the manager let us down. Anyway, forget that. Your attacking midfielder, your number 10 from Manchester City is Kevin De Bruyne, who I believe, for the type of player he is, he's the best player in the world. And for me, he would be the natural pick in this formation, in this team. Your right midfielder is Neto from Wolves, who, you know, you've explained is his age, his potential, his quality, and, you know, where you see him in a better team than Wolves. That's why you'd put him in this team with these clearly world-class players. Your left attacking midfielder from Spurs is Heung-min Son, another one who is, yeah, he would flourish in this side, and he's probably in that position in the Premier League. He's probably the best left-sided attacking midfielder in the Premier League. It's him or Mane, I would say. Yeah, and then, you know, in regards to trophies and prestige and all that, you left, you know, the best till last. 4 or 5 times Champions League winner. Is it 5 or is it 4? 5? No, sorry, that's 4 with Real, isn't it? Or was it 5 with Real? Anyway, 5-time Ballon d'Or, you know, Premier League winner. Did he win the Serie A with Juve? He did, didn't he, in his first season?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Serie A, Premier League and La Liga winner. The guy's literally won it all. All-time international goal-scoring record. And that is obviously none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. So your team is, yeah, and your squad, I would have to say your squad as well, because I feel your bench is, you know, if you do take out Neto, for instance, you've got Saar or Saint Maximan. Yeah, or Son for Saha, you know, like you've got a good balance, you've got a good I think you've got a good attacking talent. You've got Ivan Toney there, you know, Ronaldo last 20 minutes, you might take him off. So yeah, I genuinely believe that I would say your squad is stronger than Charlie Boyd's. And that's not because you're now on the show. Do you understand? Like I would say as a squad, I feel this is stronger. As a squad, because I think Varane and Van Dijk as a centre-back pairing is probably the best partnership in the world possible right now. But I'm saying as a squad, yeah, man, I think yours probably shades it as a squad. Good job, because it's not easy. And I even said to you when you messaged me and you said that's my team, I was like, yeah, well, you know, like you've got a few days to. You said, nah, that's my squad. So you know, like obviously you've done it. You said, nah, yeah, I'm happy with that, man. Yeah. So once again, James, if you want to just, you know, just shout out your channel again, and I'm going to put your channel link in the description. And my aim is, you know, I want people to watch this. And I know that I've left it so long that my channel needs to somehow grow again. But I do hope that you get some subscribers from this. So, yeah, just, you know, just one more time, just shout out your channel, James, man.
You can find me on E20 ZONE TV. E20 is the home of West Ham United now, and we've got to embrace it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you can find me over there. I'm doing some player ratings from time to time, every game, little vlogs and things. Go over there, check it out. I'll be grateful. if you want to subscribe, then please do. It goes a long way. And yeah, go and check it out.
Right. Just before we sign out, I would say you do betting sort of tips, don't you? Or you know, you give people little, you know, like look. So that I think is key, man, because there's a lot of people that you know that like to have a flutter. And you know, your Southampton one, you said from the I said 2-2. You said I don't think there's been a lot of goals. Now, if you check it, we were scoring and conceding. They scored 4, I think, and letting 6. So to me, I'm thinking there has to be goals, and you call that. So, you know, like I would say, and I might put this, what we're saying now, at the start of the video, because I know, like, you know, anybody that likes to have a little bet, and, you know, sometimes you don't know what to do, check James's channel out just for that reason alone. You don't have to be West Ham, obviously, and that's the thing, is he's not just West Ham. If you're giving betting tips, then that's universal. So I'm going to put this segment right at the start of the video so people understand that you do betting. They are betting tips, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, they're betting tips basically, and they're also like my own personal preference. Like obviously with the Southampton game, I thought with the international it'd be a tight affair. It was so tight, no one decided to score a goal on that day. But yeah, that's what it is, mate. That's what it is.
Right. So yeah, I'm going to put that at the start, and then I'll just get into what we're doing. Listen, before we go, James, I'd like to say thank you for coming on. And I've said it before, and to you it probably didn't mean nothing, but yeah, that time when you jumped on the live, I didn't know you. Do you understand? And you came on, we spoke for about an hour. And yeah, I think if you wouldn't have come on, I didn't know about StreamYard, I didn't know about going live. I'm sitting there in my dressing gown. If you didn't, I've shit, 5 minutes, let me cut it out. Do you understand? So yeah, that's something that I always remember. I got you mixed you up with Fashizi, obviously. But yeah, man, yeah, I'm always thankful for that. And like I said,
that's okay, mate. At the end of the day, when you was doing that, obviously, I was doing the YouTube game a little while before, and you just got to be careful. Like, obviously, there's a lot of strange people out there, and obviously, when you're doing things, someone
jumped in there live, didn't they? Someone used that.
That's right, mate. And that's what I said to you. All I said to you was, if you can't see their face, you don't know what they're up to, and it could like. Well, one, if you've got young kids watching this or anything, you don't want to go down the road of
and they start
scaring. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But you know, once again, this was for me. Like, I really enjoyed doing this, and you know, opinions in football. Everyone's got a different opinion, and just looking at your squad and all that. It's no one's squad should be identical. And yeah, like I think you've done a great job, and I appreciate you taking the time. It is quite late; it's 10:20 right now, and this is your time. So yeah, James, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show and
no worries,
a great squad, man. So yeah, just for the viewers, if you stay to the end of the video, thanks for watching. I'm gonna put James's link in there, please. I don't even really care about mine, as in, but yeah, like subscribe to the channel. But go and subscribe to his channel. Check him out and show him some love. Yeah, I'll be back hopefully next week, and I think Gatesy's coming on. So yeah, I'll be back next week with one from each team. Let's see what Gatesy's gonna come up with, and he's gonna have to do, come up with something real good to compete with yours and Charlie Boy's squad. So that's it. Yeah, man. All I can say is Man United. Are we away or home?
Away. Home. Sorry, we are at home. Yeah.
No Antonio, but fingers and toes crossed. Come on, you hands.
Come on, you hands.